Nama Shreshtam Manumapi Satchiputram Atra Swarupam Rupam Tasikrajam Uruparim Maturim Gostāvitim Radha Kundam Girivaram Maho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Jayam Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Sunda Govindadev Gosvāmī Maharaj Gurudev Ki Jai. We are reading from Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Madhya-līlā, chapter 2, entitled The Ecstatic Manifestations of Lord Caitanya. Lord Caitanya, in his final days, final manifest Leela, he exhibited the mood of Srimati Radharani in separation from Krishna. It was a union and separation. And that manifest as ecstasy, profuse, volcanic ecstasy, a variety of symptoms, but permeated throughout by ecstasy. So, the ecstatic manifestations of Lord Caitanya, chapter 2, Madhya-līlā. As we discussed, as we noted the other day, this was documented by Kavirāja Gosvāmī because he felt it so important that this almost, you say, pinnacle of Mahaprabhu's earthly Leela was documented before he passed away, in case he couldn't get time to finish the Caitanya-caritāmṛta. He wanted at least this Vipralamba Bhav, the pinnacle of Mahaprabhu's expression of Srimati Radharani's Mahabhav, Mahaprem. He wanted that to be documented. So we will continue from okay, we'll see if we can get this finished today. It's only 10 or so verses. We'll continue from text 83. Jai Jai Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta, Madhya-līlā, chapter 2, the ecstatic manifestations of Lord Caitanya, starting from text 83. Kahibara kata nahe kahile ke hana bujaye aiche chitra chaitanyera ranga se bujite pare chaitanyera kripayanre haya tanra das anudasa sangha. Such topics are not to be discussed freely, because if they are, no one will understand them. Such are the wonderful pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Unto one who is able to understand, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has shown mercy by giving him the association of a servant of his own servant. So we see a point here connecting the comprehension of Mahaprabhu's esoteric Leela with Vaishnava association and mercy. Actually, one produces the other. So, in other places in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, it's stated that no one can actually understand, or ordinary people, they cannot understand the topics described in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, but they can be understood through the mercy of the Vaishnava. So it's not through some kind of standard educational process, or it's not through intellectual power. It's not through intelligence, common prosaic intelligence, that the topics of the Caitanya-caritāmṛta can be understood. Or it's not by any academic ability. It's not by any social or anthropological knowledge, skill, anything academic or mundane that the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, indeed all spiritual topics, particularly the pastimes of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, they cannot be understood in that way. They can only be understood through the kripa, the karuna of someone who is living them, Someone who actually has that inside of themselves. Someone who is tasting that, they can distribute that. They have it so that they can give it. So it's simply a matter of making oneself fit to receive it, inviting that, making oneself eligible. And then the topics of the Caitanya-caritāmṛta can be understood. Until that point, they're all just theory. Until that point, we're kind of practicing, or you say we're always practicing, but until that point, it does not become real in our lives. It's not internalized. It is something academic, theoretical. So just like Rupa Gosvāmī says in the Bhakti Rasa Sindhu, that first comes Śrīdhar, and then comes Sadhu Sangha on his 9-runged hierarchy of bhakti. Shraddha, Sadhu Sangha, Bhajana Kriya, Narta Nivriti, etc. So at the very beginning, at the foundation, is faith. So with faith, you associate with the devotees. And with the association of the devotees, that invites some kripa, some mercy into your life. And with that mercy, what happens? You desire further association. So initially there must be some faith. But you say, how could you have faith in the association of the Vaishnavas if they have not given you some mercy to be attracted to that to build that faith in your heart? So the two are kind of like operate in a cyclical fashion where they feed each other. It's like a positive feedback loop where one has faith in the Vaishnavas, so they associate with the Vaishnavas, and the association of the Vaishnavas delivers mercy, right? They receive mercy as a result of that, and then their faith grows, and their quantity and quality of association grows, the mercy grows, their faith grows, etc., like that. So, in this context, we see that the comprehension of Mahaprabhu's esoteric pastimes cannot be understood. But if they can be understood, it says one who is able to understand, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives his mercy. But then you cannot understand them without the mercy of Mahaprabhu or his associates, the true devotees. So again, it's cyclical. One receives the mercy of the devotees, they're able to understand Mahaprabhu's Leela, and if they're able to understand it, then Mahaprabhu gives further mercy, shown mercy by giving him the association of a servant of his own servant, tantamount to saying the servants of the genuine devotees. So again, it's cyclical. The mercy of the devotees gives the ability to understand Mahaprabhu's Leela, and the comprehension of Mahaprabhu's Leela gives further association of the devotees. So it's a very optimistic, positive cycle where each component feeds the other perpetually. Text 84. These verses are, you will have noticed that these verses are, the meter of these verses is not the typical of the Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Caitanya-caritāmṛta, the majority of it is written in couplets, 2 lines. These verses are 4-lined verses, 2 of which are broken into 2. So there's 2 sections to the first line, 1 to the second line, 2 sections to the third line, 1 to the fourth line. So it's an unusual meter. I think it's the meter is either Tristup or Jagati, 12 syllables per line. We can figure it out later. It's either Tristup or Jagati. We have 12 syllables per line. You know the Prabhupada Padma Stavaka. Vipulikrita by Vipulikrita Vaibhava Gaura Bhuvam. 12 syllables. Pranamami sada Prabhupada padam. 12. That's Jagati. That meter is called Jagati. Whereas the Gita meter of the predominant meter of the Bhagavad Gita is Anustup. You get 8. Sarva Daman Parityajya. 8. Most meters are simply defined by the number of syllables in each line. So I think this is either Anustup, either Tristup or Jagati. So, Caitanya-caritāmṛta Ratna Sara Swarupera Bandara Tenho Tuila Raguna Terakante Tahan Kichuye Sunilun Taha Ihan Vistarilun Bhaktagane Dilun E Bete. The pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are the topmost jewels. They have been kept in the storehouse of Swarup Damodar Goswami, who has explained them to Raghunath Das Goswami, who has repeated them to me. Whatever little I have heard from Raghunath Das Goswami, I have described in this book, which is presented to all the devotees. So after Mahaprabhu passed away, Raghunath Das Goswami, in despair, he went to Vrindavan with suicide on his mind. He was thinking of seeing Vrindavan and committing suicide. Just having at least one look, one vision, darshan of Vrindavan in his life, and then he was going to end his life. Such was the depth of his despair. But when he met Rupa and Sanatan in Vrindavan, they rejuvenated him spiritually. He saw, here is Mahaprabhu, my beloved, living once again in spirit, same energy, and that revived him. His will to live returned. I'll read the purport. All the activities of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were noted by his personal secretary, Swarup Damodar, and repeated to Raghunath Das Goswami, who memorized them. Whatever Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja heard is recorded in Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta. This is called the Parampara system, from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to Swarup Damodar, to Raghunath Goswami, to Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja Goswami. Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja Goswami has distributed his information in his book Caitanya-caritāmṛta. In other words, Caitanya-caritāmṛta is the essence of the instruction given through the Parampara system of the disciplic succession stemming from Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. End of purport. So the diary of Swarup Damodar was known as a Kadacha. Kadacha is a journal or a diary. And this was the source material for the Caitanya-caritāmṛta. Some say that Raghunath Das Goswami also kept a diary. It's also said elsewhere that he memorized all the verses, as Swāmī Maharaj Prabhupada says in the purport. Perhaps both are true. The earlier life of Mahaprabhu was documented by another associate called Murari Gupta, and he kept a Kadacha, a diary, and that is the source material generally for Mahaprabhu's earlier life, up to the age of sannyas. Post-sannyas, the second half of his life, from age 24 to 48, source material, primarily the diary of Swarup Damodar, the memories as conveyed through the memory of Raghunath Das Goswami. Text 85. Yadi keha hena kaya granta kaila slokamaya itara jane nari be bujite prabhuraye acharana se kari varnana sarvachita nari aradhite. If one says that Sri Caitanya-caritāmṛta is full of Sanskrit verses and therefore not understandable by a common man, I reply that what I have described are the pastimes of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and that for me to satisfy everyone is not possible. Kavirāja Goswami is not going to dilute the quality in order to please everyone. not a crowd pleaser. He is selecting quality over quantity, preservation of the quality. Without the preservation of the quality, quantity is useless. I was reading somewhere just the other day where Param Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Rakshak, Śrīdhar Gosvāmī Maharaj, was saying that quantity actually is not of much value. You can get quantity of items everywhere. But quality items, they're not so easy to come by. Valuable, true value lies in quality. Quantity, large amounts of useless items can be found everywhere. Large amounts of useless people. Not that people are essentially useless, but they're engaged in, they're enamored by useless ideologies, useless belief systems, useless pursuits. So quality is all important in everything, particularly spiritual life. Without quality in your spiritual life, you can go on and on and on. You can produce voluminous quantity. You can be absolutely prolific with your so-called sadhana, but you won't really get anywhere if you don't have quality. In the beginning of, the earlier chapter, in Madhya-līlā, I think, what chapter? I'm trying to remember. I think maybe chapter 7, but then again, maybe not. It doesn't come to me right now. There's a famous verse, Bahu Janma Jadi Adi Shravana Kirtan Tabuta Napai Krishna Pari Premadan, which means Bahu Janma. What does Bahu Janma mean? Bahu means a lot, a multiplicity. Janma, births. Jadi Adi Shravan Kirtan. What is Shravan Kirtan? Jadi Adi, you can indulge in Shravan Kirtan, right? Hearing and chanting. It's the prime principal sadhana practices of the 9 that we hear: Shravan, Kirtan, Smaranam, Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. So Shravan, Kirtan are considered like the cornerstone practices, the cardinal practices. He's saying Bahu Janma, you can do this for lifetimes. This is Kavirāja Gosvāmī in maybe chapter 7 of Madhya-līlā. It's the chapter where he receives the instructions from Nityananda Prabhu to go to Vrindavan, where he eventually composes this work. Bahu Janma Jadiyari Shravana Kirtan. You can chant and hear for multiple lifetimes. Tabuta Napai Krishna Pari Premadan. But you will not get the result. Krishna Pari Premadan. Krishna Pari, Krishna's feet. Premadan. The wealth of love. Dan is wealth. Prema is love. Premadan. Tabuta na pai Krishna pari premadan. You won't get love for Krishna. What's going on here? We're told if we hear and chant, gradually our contaminations, right, the chaff, material chaff, gradually that's eroded and we get Krishna prema. But here it's told we're not. Unless of course we have quality chanting. So the point is that you may go through the motions of hearing and chanting for a long time. Multiple lifetimes. He doesn't specify exactly how many. He says Bahu Janma, lots of them. That's enough to comprehend the principle, is that you can have a lot of quantity of sadhana, chanting, hearing chanting, and you will not get the desired result if you don't have quality. So why Param Gurudev, they always stressed quality. Quality over quantity. First you start with quality, and then you move from that quality, from a base of quality, you can expand your quantity. Otherwise, like we were saying the other day, like the example of the person who loves another person, saying, "Oh, I love you. I love you." And they say, oh, if I really love the person, I should be telling them I love them all the time. I love you, 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 I love you. It's ridiculous. It has no meaning. So quantity of sadhana practice may not have any meaning if there's no real quality there. And this should permeate all aspects of our sadhana life, particularly the one mentioned in the verse, Shravan Kirtan. Should try and hear with attention and chant with attention, focus. Submissive attitude. When Gurudev was asked, what should we do while chanting? He says, you should chant with a mood of surrender and submission. Conscious, intentional submission and surrender. Quality chanting, not buzzing around all day looking at this and that with a bead bag in your hand. That is the typificate, that is the textbook modern example of Bahujanma Jariyari Shravana Kirtan. Lifetimes of not to get too critical on anyone. We're all trying, but we do need to consciously revise revisit our goal. Say, do we want to achieve that goal? If we do, then we need to adopt the attitude and practice that is most effective in achieving our goal. And that needs to be identified. And its opposite, that which does not work, also needs to be identified if we're to be honest in our goal. So Kavirāja Gosvāmī is saying, I can't please everyone. Some people say that the Caitanya-caritāmṛta is full of Sanskrit. Shlokamaya. Too many slokas. And he's saying, I can't help everyone, I'm sorry. The quality has to come first. And then, or I can't please everyone. I can't dilute the pristine purity of Mahaprabhu's Leela for the sake of broader appreciation of the masses. What's the saying by Bob Marley? Can please all the people sometimes, and some of the people all the time. You can't please all the people all the time. That doesn't quite apply here. It just popped into my mind. It doesn't quite apply in full. So quality before quantity. Now, in terms of Sanskrit verses in the Caitanya-caritāmṛta, I read a breakdown once. There are some, Caitanya-caritāmṛta I think is some 10 or 11% Sanskrit verses. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm getting mixed up. I'll look it up again later. But Kavirāja Gosvāmī does quote liberally from various scriptures, primarily the Srimad Bhagavatam. But at the same time, most of it is in what I presume to be fairly understandable Bengali. It's classical Bengali, but I don't believe it's too cryptic or esoteric, most of it. Anyway, nahi kahan savirodha, nahi kahan anurodha, sahaja vastu kari vivarana, yadi haya ragodesha, tahan hai avesha, sahaja vastu na yaya likana. In this Caitanya-caritāmṛta, there is no contradictory conclusion, nor is anyone else's opinion accepted. I have written this book to describe the simple substance as I have heard it from superiors. If I become involved in someone's likes and dislikes, I cannot possibly write the simple truth. see Kavirāja Gosvāmī making some broad statements regarding his own subjective approach in writing the book. He's doing this, we have to understand the context of the chapter 2 of Madhya-līlā as discussed earlier. Where Kavirāja Gosvāmī is jumping ahead in the chronology to put this, to record these final Leelas, ecstatic Leela of Mahaprabhu. So he's talking in broader terms about his own relationship with the work. And in this verse again, he's saying, I've kept it true, chaste and true. I haven't mixed it up with anyone else's opinion. There's a lot of opinions out there on all sorts of topics. So he hasn't fallen prey to sampling from here and there and including it in the book. He's been chaste he's representing accurately what he has heard. And he states that I'm not prepared, again, to pander to people. They have their likes and their dislikes, and I'm not prepared to entertain that. He says, if I do so, how can I tell the truth? If my motive becomes, if my motive is influenced by desire to cater to, pander to people's likes and dislikes, what does that do? What does that mean for the quality of the truth? Will it help it? Will it degrade it? Of course it will compromise the truth. Okay, we'll finish there. I think we're losing everyone's attention. Hare Krishna. We'll read a little bit from Loving Search for the Lost Servant. Emporium of Rasa, by Śrīla Bhakti Rakak Śrīdhar Gosvāmī Maharaj. The Lord's potency is dynamic, and that dynamicism, that's a new word, is always producing rasa, or the flavor of ecstasy. The whole Leela is producing ecstasy, anandam, rasam. Krishna himself is the emporium of rasa, akila rasamrita murti, anandamai vilas. Dynamic movement is a necessity in his Leela. It cannot be eliminated, and that movement is always producing a novel ecstasy which feeds every atom of the spiritual world. In that transcendental abode, Krishna is the center who attracts everything and enthuses rasa and anandam, ecstasy and joy within everything. This is the nature of the movement of the Absolute. It is not static, but it is dynamic, filled with movement. And that movement is pratipadam punam ritas vadanam. Where does that phrase come from? Yeah, Shikshastakam. What verse?
Number 8, is it?
No. Number 1, yes. Pratipadam purnam ritas vadanam. It's lovely, isn't it? Every step it gets fuller and fuller. Pratipadam. With each successive step it gets fuller and fuller of ecstasy. Purna amrita, full of nectar. At every point, every step, it produces a new type of joy, which is infinite. It is not the stale and sterile joy we find here. Quite a beautiful concept, and also what I find is a practical concept to keep in mind. A place where, with every step, there is newer and fresher types of joy. Even though the preceding step offered full joy, the next step offers even more. That's the nature of infinity. Not just more in quantity, but different shades, different flavors, different qualities as well. This is the proper conception of the Absolute, the organic whole, which is always working and moving, is full. Its fullness is ever new. It is not standing or static. It moves in such a way that every second, every minute, it is always producing new, unknown, infinite joy. And we can purchase that joy only by paying the highest price, self-sacrifice. That ticket is very valuable, which can give us admission into the plane of automatic, moving joy, which is ever new at every second. And the ticket is wholesale self-sacrifice. That sacrifice is joyful, and one may taste that wonderful joy even here in this world, where at every moment everything is dying. It is give and take. If we want to gain something noble, we must also give. We must be generous in our dedication, and then we shall receive amply from that side. Wholesale self-dedication is the price, and in return we shall be filled up with ecstasy, anandam buddhivardhanam. Yeah, those are the words just preceding pratipadam purnamrita svadhanam. Anandam buddhivardhanam, pratipadam purnamrita svadhanam, sarvatma snapanam, param vijayate, Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. Anandam buddhivardhanam. Vardhana means to increase. Anandam buddhivardhanam. Increase of buddhi. Anandam. We shall feel that we are in the midst of an ocean of joy. At present we are searching after a joyous feeling, like one who searches for a glass of water in the midst of the desert. But by dedication we shall find that we are in the ocean of joy, whose soothing sweetness is increasing at every moment. The quality of joy has variety, and it comes to help us in our serving attitude, so that every moment we may feel new encouragement. So we have to inquire from a proper agent, follow his advice, and try to understand how to improve our condition. What is the Gita verse that relates to that last statement of Param Gurudev? So we have to inquire from a proper agent, follow his advice, understand how to improve our condition. Maybe tadvidi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. At the same time, we should be conscious that the chance we have to render devotional service is rarely found. It is not very cheap. Therefore, we must utilize every minute, every second, every moment. We should not be very much alert that a moment. We should be very much alert that a moment not be lost. That our attempt to dedicate ourselves may continue constantly without being interrupted. That stage of dedication is called Nishtha. And when we attain that stage, our taste is further improved, and we will be more and more encouraged to go forward and make progress towards ultimate fulfillment. Our taste is further improved at Nishtha. Because following Nishtha is the stage of taste, proper, real taste. Like when we say Bhakti proper begins. Bhakti is devotion. If you don't have any taste for devotion, what is it? It's mechanical. It's not Bhakti proper. So Bhakti proper begins at the stage of taste, which succeeds Nishtha, as Param Gurudev says. That stage, so the taste is increasing at the platform of Nishtha. The taste is coming into bloom. And after Nishtha, it blossoms fully. What is that taste? Ruchi. Ruchi is taste. Shraddha, sadhusanga, bhajana, kriya, anartha, nivriti. Nishtha, then ruchi. Jai Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Gosvāmī Maharaj ki Jai. Should I sing? Hari Haraya Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Namaha. Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha. Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan Giridhari Gopinath Madana Moha Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra Gadādhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakti Jai Rupa Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dāsa Jai Koshai Kori Charana Bandhan Jaha Hoite Vignana Sabhista Puran Jai Koshai Andra Muni Tanra Das Jaha Hoite Vignana Jaha Hoite Sapanchadas Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sani Bas Jana me Mora E Abhilas Jai Koshai Andra Muni Tanra Das Koilo Bas Jai Koshai Jabe Braja Koilo Bas Radha Krishna Madhya-līlā Korila Prakash Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan Shri Guru Vaishnava Parema Jayama Shri Guru Vaishnava Padma Koriyash Hari Bo Hari Nam Sankirtan Kohe Narotam Das Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna Jai Sapadikara Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Sundar Radha Giridhari Ju Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Rakak Śrīdhar Dev Gosvāmī Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Vishnupad Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada Ki Jai. Shri Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Samaveda Vaishnav Mandala Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Caitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Sri Caitanya Saraswat Mat West London Ki Jai. Sri Kartik Vrata Damodar Vrata Uja Vrata Niyam Seva Vrata Ki Jai. Sri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai. Nitai Go Premanandi Hari Hari Bo.
The very next verse, it's saying, Kṛṣṇadāsa Kavirāja is saying, if one does not understand this, you keep on hearing it again and again and again and again, eventually you'll understand it anyway.
Where does it say that?
That's the next verse, isn't it?
Oh, is it? I don't know, I haven't read ahead.
Yeah.
Let's have a look. I continue to hear again and again, one fix. Yeah.
And again, the wonderful effects of the Lord.
Yeah, everyone is advising me over and over and over again.
Yeah, but also, as you said, it has to be quality as well.
Yeah, I mean, hearing, of course, yeah. There has to be quality, it has to be the right environment. I mean, that's kind of a given.
Yeah.
Well, it's not off, huh?
It's not on and off.